Hey guys, welcome back to the channel, the Arkansas RC Newbie. And on today's episode, we are going to be talking about a little bit of shocks. We're going to be setting these guys up Droop style. These are the Injora Internal Shocks that I just picked up, $18.99 for a full set, all four. That's right, all four. Not only are we going to be installing these on my new AMK carbon fiber crawler chassis that we've been working on and showing you guys some parts of, we are also going to be doing a little bit of everybody's favorite segment, a little bit of mail time. Apparently, word has it that my wheel set and maybe some brass has come in. Alright guys, without further ado, please hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and let's get down to some shocks. Alright guys, here we go. Let's go ahead and take a look at the Injora Mountain Shocks. Now remember, these things are $18.99. You guys can check out the affiliate links in the description below for all four. Alright, so here's the shock here. These are the 110. They sell them in 100 and I believe a 90. I wanted to go with the 110 because we're also going to be, not only will you be setting up the Droop style with these shocks today, but we're also going to be installing them, and I'm going to be using some shock keys. So I'm hoping that we'll be able to kind of make these 110s work. I've always wanted something a little bit longer as opposed to like the 90 or the 100s. So I think shock keys will get the job done there. Now before we get into tearing this guy apart and setting it up, let's go and take a look and see what these things come with. One of the, I guess the biggest highlights is why I wanted to get these, not only the price, but it was also them talking about on the reviews on Amazon, they were saying how many different springs they come with and how much of a difference they actually make. Now I don't know if any of those reviewers were actually reviewing them with a Droop style setup. So right here we've got, that's probably about a medium. So the gold is right at a medium. And I like how the ends of the coil there are actually tapered off. We've got some black ones, and those guys there are also tapered off, and that is super soft. O-rings for mounting, and then also some spacers and some mounting hardware there. Now the shock oil that we're going to be using today is some 40 weight. I know a lot of people actually think that's a little bit too thick. It's kind of too slow on the rebound, or the I guess the decompression. But I like running a little bit slower stuff. This crawler, I'll show you guys here in a second when we do the install, this crawler is going to be about 6 pounds. I'm guessing 6.5 pounds. I got some brass. Remember, we're going to be doing that mail time, so you guys get to see what that's all about. So I'm thinking that the 40 is going to be perfect for this. I don't want this guy bouncing all over the place with too light of a shock oil. All right, but let's go ahead and get this guy. Let's take this off of here. And this it doesn't come with any tools, so I hate to scratch this up. Okay. So first thing we're going to do is we're going to take a look at the shock, or the spring in there, and see if indeed it is one of the stiffer ones. I don't know. I'm going to guess that that's probably, okay, so that's the medium. That one's the medium there that they're actually installed with. This one here is definitely the stiffer. So we got gold being the stiffest, silver being the medium, and black being the softest. Alright, so the plunger doesn't have any type of O-rings or anything around it. It actually does not come with any other style of discs as well. This one here's got the 3 openings. I know some other shocks actually offer the discs that have, 1 hole, 2 hole, 3 hole, just for more oil circulation, but these guys here got the 3 on there with a little C-clip. Okay, and we have got a O-ring on the back side of the stanchion here, and we also have a O-ring on the inside. So something I'm very interested in is I don't think that these will get fully decompressed. And on the Droop setup that I want that sucker to be laying down pretty much, right? I don't want my crawler to be up in the air whatsoever. So what I'm worrying about, we're going to screw this back in without the shock. When we set this up Droop style, I don't know if the stanchion is going to get fully hidden back into the body. I don't think that they make different bodies. I think all they do is either have the stanchions that are different lengths. So let's see if this guy compresses all the way. If it compresses all the way, I'm going to be a little happier about it, about my decision. Oh, no. Okay, see, so that's the bummer there. We're going to have a little bit of stanchion sticking outside of the shock. So this is probably more like a, I don't know, probably like 100. I guess you could say. Really, I wanted all of that articulation. So that's a big bummer. Again, I don't think that they changed the bodies up. They just sell you a different length of stanchion, as we're going to call it. So let's go ahead and get one of these bled. We're going to go with the softest of springs, and then we'll start looking at the install. And then we'll get to some Mailtime. I'll show you guys this crawler that we got going on if you have not been a part of this channel, if you're not subscribed or notified. Alright, so after taking a little bit closer inspection of these shocks, something I am liking is the bore, or the shock body, is a lot wider than it looks on the internet, and it's a lot bigger than the Desert Lizards as well. Not that this is a comparison video, but that's one of the first internal shocks that I was actually running that's meant to be ran with oil, was the Desert Lizards. But anyway, the bore is a lot bigger, and I like how there's not a whole bunch of extra hardware that you have to mount. It looks like we actually have this little swivel eyelet that is mounted in there already. I do like the bigger bore on there, but the downside to that, if you guys see this bore and this plunger, since the plunger doesn't have any type of O-rings or anything around it, when you put it inside the bore, there's actually room for it to move. You know, a lot of shocks, actually, the plunger is a tiny bit smaller in diameter than the bore, so you're actually going to get that oil really circulating through that little spacer, that disc. The issue with this is, I guess, the amount of slots that disc has doesn't really matter as far as circulation goes, because the bore is actually wider, so that might affect the performance of these as well. Alright, so we're going to pull this little C-clip off there. Alright, and as I said earlier, the black is going to be the softer, so we're actually going to put this guy underneath the disc. Put that cap back on there. Okay, and that is the Droop setup, I guess. I mean, you could cut the spring down, I guess, if you wanted it to be soft and maybe not have so much movement in there. I'm not a big fan of cutting springs. I kind of ruined a few sets that were on the Desert Lizards, but that there is super. That's a smooth stroke, man. This ain't even inside the bore yet. All right, now let's go with the bleed. Let's go ahead and get some oil in here. $18.99. You guys can check those affiliate links out in the description below. Let's see, and this doesn't come with a tool, so it's super hard to grip at the moment. Okay. Alright guys, well, we just got done with the Injora Droop setup, internal shocks. Used the 40 weight on them. Not too impressed. It's not very smooth coming back. It just seems on the stroke here, it just, I don't know, it's a little rough is what it feels like. And really, I'm thinking I probably should have went like 50 or 60 weight, something a little bit thicker oil-wise, because that little spacer that we used, or the, was that the disc, or the plunger that this thing came with, was actually a lot thinner than the width of the bore, or the shock housing. So it travels through there super fast. If that had been just a little bit wider, we probably got a really good amount of compression and decompression where it was nice and slow. But because that disc and the little tuning disc in there is basically not the right width, it's just shooting back. It's kind of an issue. We'll see how it does on the crawler. Again, we've got those. We've got the shock keys that we're about to install, and we're going to go over my crawler back here. Again, guys, if you're enjoying this stuff, man, please hit that like button, hit that subscribe button if you're not a part of the channel, and let's show you the AMK carbon fiber crawler. Alright guys, there is the carbon fiber crawler. We've got the, I believe they're Coasta brand axles on here, the portal axles. Now, we did a Mailtime a while back, so you guys can check out those portal axles. We'll also put those in the affiliate links in the description below. We've got the Flash Hobby 45 kg servo in this guy, and other than that, that's the only things we've got in here. That and the links, of course. Came with that really cool bumper. And these axles, one of the upsides to them is just how heavy they are. I mean, they say they're made out of aluminum, but they feel like they're steel. But anyway, let's go ahead and start working on getting the Injora shocks mounted up on this, and let's see what kind of, I don't know what kind of travel that we've got and what kind of articulation. And then we've got some Mailtime that we're fixing to open up. Let's see what this wheel set looks like. Alright guys, we got the rear mounted on here, and check out where we end up putting those shock keys. I really wanted to put the shock keys up here and get somewhat of that angle. The issues with this chassis and using shock keys is I was starting to bind with the chassis, the outer portion here of the chassis. We're actually starting to interfere with those and get caught up. So I wanted to make sure that we were not getting caught up. So I went ahead and mounted them as high up as we'll go, basically. And I kind of combined them with my rear links. But it actually drops down pretty good. It's a little fast, okay? A little fast, and we even have more droop there. That's what I was really wanting, and especially some of the articulation. The issue, though, is, and we've done talked about this, the issue is with those discs that are inside of the housing, or the bore here, they're not wide enough to actually really do anything. I think what we'll end up doing with these shocks is adding some super thick oil just to slow that guy down. Alright guys, let's go ahead and get these front ones on there. And then what we'll do is we'll show you guys what it looks like, and we will be getting to some mail time, man. Please, guys, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button if you ain't a part of the channel, man. Show your boys some love. Alright guys, just got done doing the front shocks. I'm going to show you guys the amount of droop that we get on the front. Yeah, look at that. I mean, there is not much there at all. I'm going to push it up. There's a tiny bit. So the shocks are really doing their job up on the front end. They're catching just a little bit more. And I think that front axle with all the links and everything is a little bit heavier than both of the rears. We can see here. You can still hear that weirdness, but of course it doesn't pull it up as hard. That's kind of a little bit of a worry. But the good thing is it doesn't drop right away. But the articulation seems to be pretty good. I think we made a good decision with the 110s. I'm not sure if we made a good decision with the Injoras. Okay, I don't know about that yet, but we can always change this stuff up. But pretty good. I'm pretty happy with the way that this crawler is starting to look, especially with the rear shock piece. What do you guys say? Let's go ahead and jump over and do a little bit of everybody's favorite segment. Let's do a little bit of mail time now that we got this done. First package we got here, we were talking about wheels and some possible weights, and I have a feeling based on the way of this package that's exactly what it's going to be. Let's see if they're the wheels or... Okay, they are the wheels. Look at those HYBDX RC. I think they were $31.99. I wanted to go with the gold just to kind of change up this look a little bit, something I haven't really gone with. They are actual beadlock wheels. Dude, those things look very nice, and we even have a whole bunch of hardware. Wow, and they're decently heavy, but that is just too neat, man. I love the style of that. The look is pretty cool, something a little bit different. Next piece of mail that we got in here. Oh yes, it's called R Revolution. Yes, and they are 1.9 beadlock, super heavy. I think 95 gram wheel weights. Oh wow. I think the ones I ordered for the RGT were actually 76, and I wanted to go with some of these brass rings just to add some really good weight to the crawler. I'm a big believer with the weight now. I know a lot of people don't like running it because it kind of messes up the drivetrain, but man, we're going super slow, so I don't think it's going to be an issue. Dude, that is nice brass rings right there. So we've got the wheel weights, and we have got the beadlocks. Those beadlocks are cool, man. I think it's going to go pretty good with my body. Here we are. These are the Crawler Innovations. Old Armando out of Texas with Crawler Innovations. These are the Little Novas 4.50 standard inner with softer outer tuning ring. I've got a set of these in medium and in firm that Crawler Innovation sent to me. I will be using probably the medium on the front and this set here, the soft, on the rear, I believe, so it digs in a little bit better. But I think the dual stage Lil Nova from Crawler Innovations, I had to get me some more of those. So Armando, you guys helping me out, sending me some stuff in the past episodes. I appreciate you. You've got a loyal customer from here on out. So Crawler Innovations, we've got the wheels, and we've also got the beadlocks, guys. So heck of a mail time. All this stuff is going to be going on the AMK carbon fiber chassis with the Injoras on there now. All right, guys. So hey, be sure to like this episode, man. Share it. Turn notifications on if you guys are interested in watching more of this build and seeing where this channel goes. But until next time, we will see you on the next episode.